Right now at 6, the Kansas Speaker of the House stopped by a community health center in Pittsburgh.
And we've got thunderstorms rolling into our western counties this morning. Some of those are on the strong side. We'll look at those storms and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Pittsburgh Police Department makes sure their K-9 officers stay safe in the intense heat.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday here in the 4 states, and we had a very warm start to this day so far for many of us. Right. Very warm, very muggy out there compared to yesterday. Yesterday wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all. Oh, the mugginess.
Yeah,
I could do away with it.
That's what always gets you is those humidity and dew point levels. And we also have thunderstorms now pushing into our western counties, and some of those have been a bit on the strong side. We had some severe thunderstorms outside of our area earlier this morning. Nothing severe at this point, but we're continuing to keep an eye on them. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And so now we've got this new line of storms that's developing ahead of that main line of storms that was a little further back to the west. So now we're getting into Coffee, Woodson, Wilson, even down as far south as Montgomery County with that new development. And you can see all the lightning strikes. Again, over this whole batch, 730 lightning strikes. And in this zone alone, there's about 40 or 50. So these storms are intensifying. They're not expected to become severe by any means, but some strong to potentially low-grade severe storms are possible. We still have this line that's back behind there, and this is where the main concern at this point has been for some gusty winds. They're still sub-severe, but still pushing 40, 50 miles an hour, and this line will continue to push into our western counties, but this is new development that's been taking place from just west of Burlington down toward Fredonia and Independence. And then take a look at these little showers that are developing out ahead, that's stretching all the way back into the northern parts of Cherokee County. Some little isolated showers out there as well. So we're going to continue to monitor all of this. And again, nothing severe at this point. We just do have some stronger storms with those winds, again, 40, 50 miles an hour. And that's going to be the main thing to watch is for those gusty winds. But take a look again at how quickly this activity is developing. And then look at it developing a new line just kind of out ahead of that, stretching off to the southeast. So a lot of thunderstorm activity to keep an eye on, and unlike yesterday's storms, these ones expected to persist with us through the morning into the early afternoon hours. It won't be until say 3, 4 o'clock that we start to see the last of the showers exit out of here. And of course, like yesterday, we'll have an impact on some of you for your high temperatures. Very warm out there for some, 77 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures off in our northern and eastern fringes are in the low to mid 70s, and then as you head further south and west, we're looking at temperatures into the mid to upper 70s out there, so anywhere from 10, 12 degrees warmer than what we were 24 hours ago. Thunderstorm chances again through the afternoon. They'll start to fizzle out, say after 3, 4 o'clock. We'll go partly cloudy through the evening and a hot day out there, upper 80s and low 90s for our highs. We got these thunderstorms today that we're going to keep an eye on, and then we've got the potential for dangerous heat on our Wednesday, and we'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, 2 people are dead, including a juvenile, after an early morning crash in McDonald County, Missouri. The reports came in at around 2:35 yesterday on Route EE, just west of Lanigan. Troopers say the vehicle drove off the right side of the road and hit a cement box culvert and overturned. They say the driver, Caden Rock of Lanigan, and a juvenile were pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities arrest a motorcycle driver for DWI following a crash Sunday night. Crash happened around 9:45 near Kenzer Road in Joplin. Troopers say a car pulling out of a private drive failed to yield to the motorcycle, and troopers arrested the motorcyclist for DWI and issued citations for no motorcycle endorsement and no insurance. He was released to seek medical treatment for moderate injuries. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Kansas State Representative and State House Speaker Daniel Hawkins yesterday stopped by Pittsburgh to tour the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas and its John Perolo Education Center. The center helps train healthcare workers to fill gaps in rural communities. Hawkins says his visit was to help him and other lawmakers understand the healthcare needs of the community.
certainly it's something that we want to explore and see if we can increase the work done down here, just simply because we need healthcare providers in the rural areas. That's where we're really struggling, is in the rural areas. It's not a problem to find a doctor that wants to go to Wichita or Kansas City or Topeka, Salina, those places.
The Perello Center supports rural family medicine, dental, nursing, and medical assistant training. This summer, numerous canine officers have died from heat-related injuries, including 2 in Missouri alone. The American Veterinary Medical Association says dogs can experience heat stroke in as little as 15 minutes. Canine officers are often outside or in vehicles in all types of weather, where high temperatures are always at risk. The Pittsburgh Police Department has just 1 canine officer named Roan, and department officials say they have several policies in place to help keep Roan safe through the hottest days.
If a vehicle drops below a certain temperature, an alarm will go off. It'll actually call our dispatch, call me, and call our canine handler, and let us know that there's something wrong with the car. It would drop below a certain temperature or went above a certain temperature. So when that happens too, the lights and sirens will turn on that car, and eventually, depending on what setting it's on, the door will actually pop so Roan could get out of the car.
The department also makes sure their canine officers has constant access to water and plenty of space, both in his patrol car and at home. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Real estate agents face a major shakeup this week with new rules on how agents get paid. Plus, the U.S. Defense Department is moving more troops and equipment to the Middle East for a possible Iranian attack. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Chuck E. Cheese is launching a nationwide monthly membership program. Now, the popular children's pizza and entertainment chain hopes it's half the price of a Netflix plan and hopefully double the fun. Now, the basic membership is $7.99 per month with 40 games a visit and a 20% discount on food and drinks. That goes up to a $29.99 option per month. That includes 250 games and a 50% discount on food and drinks. Chuck E. Cheese operators hope the new program will attract inflation-wary customers who have cut back on discretionary spending. The membership can only be canceled after the first year is completed, but the company is offering 2-month passes that start at a higher monthly price as a better fit for shorter breaks like summer. Realtors nationwide are bracing for major changes in how they do business. On August 17th, new rules will take effect that overhaul the way real estate agents get paid to help people buy and sell homes. It's part of a $418 million settlement announced in March by the National Association of Realtors. The changes scrap informal rules that propped up the industry's traditional payment structure. Up until now, home sellers typically had to pay a 5 or 6% commission. Going forward, buyers' agents must discuss their compensation up front. They will have to enter into a written agreement with a prospective home buyer before touring a property together. This agreement is designed to inform buyers they are responsible for paying their own realtors if a seller chooses not to cover the cost. The Texas Attorney General is investigating CenterPoint Energy after its widely criticized response to Hurricane Beryl. It took nearly 2 weeks for CenterPoint to restore power to everyone after the Category 1 hurricane struck the Houston area July 8th. The lengthy outages and lack of accurate information amid the scorching summer heat triggered anger and frustration across the area. Attorney General Ken Paxton's office says it will investigate potential violation of state laws. The AG says that includes allegations of fraud, waste, and improper use of taxpayer-provided funds. In a recent hearing, CenterPoint executives apologized for the company's handling of Beryl, and they announced a lengthy action plan vowing to improve before the rest of the hurricane season. Elon Musk's conversation with former President Donald Trump was delayed Monday night, the result of what Musk called a, quote, massive DDoS attack. DDoS means distributed denial of service. The discussion was set to take place on Musk's social media site X, but He says the attack overwhelmed the company's servers, delaying their chat by more than 40 minutes. Once it got started, Trump retold the story of the assassination attempt at his Butler, Pennsylvania rally on July 13th. He also leveled criticism at his Democratic presidential opponent, taking Vice President Kamala Harris to task on several issues, including immigration. It was not immediately clear if bad actors were behind the delay on X or whether the issue was simply caused by too many users trying to listen to the interview. Well, this morning, Israel is on high alert for an attack that Iran, that the U.S. warns could come as soon as this week. The U.S. Defense Department is moving more troops and equipment to the region as President Biden and other world leaders push for peace talks to resume between Israel and Hamas. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Tensions are high in the Middle East as the U.S. says Iran or its proxies could strike Israel as soon as this week with little to no warning. The Pentagon is rushing a guided missile submarine and the USS Lincoln Strike Group to the region in hopes of deterring all-out war after Iran vowed to avenge the recent assassinations of Hamas and Hezbollah leaders.
We are committed to helping Israel defend itself, but at the same time, we continue to work diplomatically to prevent any major escalation of this conflict.
Yesterday, President Biden joined a call with the leaders of the United Kingdom, France, Germany, and Italy, during which the group urged Iran to stand down on its threats of a military attack and discussed serious consequences should an attack occur. Israeli defense leaders say its forces are at peak preparedness for an attack. The country's former prime minister also warning Iran to think twice.
If there is a war between Israel and Iran, it's going to be a war between Iran and the United States of America, and Great Britain, and France, and maybe other European countries, and Israel.
The U.S. and its allies are also continuing to push for a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas as Israeli forces continue operations in southern Gaza. So far, only Israel has committed to sending a delegation with negotiations set to resume Thursday, though an attack from Iran could disrupt those talks. Jared Hill, CBS News.
This morning, Iran rejected pleas from the U.S. and Europe not to attack Israel, saying those calls, quote, lack political logic, according to Reuters. Meanwhile, Iran-backed groups have also escalated their attacks on U.S. troops stationed in Iraq and Syria since the war broke out between Israel and Hamas last October 7th. And now to look at some of today's top national stories, here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to track showers and thunderstorms pushing into the area this morning, seeing some new development in two different areas ahead of the main complex that is still rolling into our far western counties. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
In Oklahoma, the first day of school for students in one Tulsa district started with a beloved tradition. The annual Kiss Your Mom Goodbye Day features a big welcome party to the freshman class. Alexa Mostrom reports.
Senior students swarmed the cars dropping off freshmen, holding signs saying "Kiss me baby one more time" and "Pucker up." The freshmen were left with no choice but to kiss their moms goodbye.
Are you gonna kiss your mom goodbye?
Yes. And her dad.
And her dad.
And her dad.
Jennifer Galbraith dropped off her daughter Lauren. She says she loves this tradition.
What's your favorite part?
All the cheering. It's so exciting. It's a great way to start your freshman year.
This line of cars continued for over an hour as the freshman class pulled up to school.
Giovanna Smith, a senior at Bishop Kelly, explains the school has done this for more than 20 years. The senior class organizes the event and encourages every freshman to kiss their mom at drop-off.
If you skip out on kissing your mom goodbye,
you're not allowed out of the car.
You're not getting out of the car.
No, you have to stay in until you give a kiss.
Milana Iresti is another senior at Bishop Kelly. She says this year is extra special for her.
It's really full circle because I remember whenever I was doing it, my older sister was cheering me on, and then now my little sister and little cousin are freshmen this year, so it's just really full circle and exciting.
They hope all the freshmen feel properly welcomed to their new school.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, continuing to track showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area. We'll have another look at your forecast and those storms when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, now 6:21, coming up on 6:22 on this Tuesday morning. Starting Skywatch Storm Tracker. So wanted to do this quick lightning count for you guys, give you an idea. Even though we don't have any severe weather, these storms very electrical. Just in this little complex by Chanute, doesn't seem like a lot at 19 strikes, but those are all confined in a very restricted area out there. And then take a look at this complex from Coffee into Woodson County, 147 lightning strikes in just the two-county area there. So some very electrical storms. Of course, lightning does not care if the storm is strong or severe. That doesn't matter. It is still dangerous and it is still deadly. So you want to make sure you're taking some precautions as you're heading out this morning, as we've got quite a bit of electrical activity with these storms. So we're going to start. I'm going to move this and I will remember to adjust this. We've got this line of storms coming into Greenwood and Elk counties. Eventually we'll be getting into Chautauqua County. So Howard going to get in on it soon. Eureka out there. This line is the one that was initially producing some severe weather early this morning. No severe thunderstorm warnings with this activity, but winds still gusting 40-50 miles an hour. And we had this line develop out ahead of it. Stretches from Independence through Fredonia, Yates Center, and up to Burlington. And take a look at all of those lightning strikes. And then we've had a third batch of showers and storms begin to develop ahead of that on the southeasterly path. So from Girard, Erie, Chanute, we've got these thunderstorms that have begun to develop out there as well. All of this activity is progressively pushing off to the east and southeast, and you can see that the line itself started to take a southeasterly turn, but the complex overall is rolling off to the east, and it is expected to be able to hold its own as we continue through the morning into the early afternoon. Now, while widespread significant severe weather is not an expectation today, we still could see some strong, potentially low-grade severe storms as this activity continues to work in. But overall, the environment here, even though it feels muggy, is not really set up to sustain severe weather, but it will sustain these thunderstorms as they continue through the morning. So that's why Future Track, even at noon, still has these complexes of showers and storms pushing through the area. So we'll continue to watch them. And of course, if any warnings do pop up, we will let you know. And it won't be until, say, after 3-4 o'clock that the last of the showers begin to move out of here. So with that said, it's also going to have an impact on our high temperatures today. Some of you may not make it out of the low 80s again, which is similar to yesterday. Not that anyone would complain, but the majority of us are expected to make upper 80s and even the low 90s out there. As we go into our Wednesday, we're just going to be dealing with the potential for dangerous heat. We're looking at highs tomorrow escalating quickly into the upper 90s for most of us out there, and we could see those heat index values 100 to 105, maybe even as high as 108. So there may be some heat advisories forthcoming for our Wednesday and possibly even into our Thursday as well. Now, very early Thursday morning, an isolated shower or storm will be possible. We're going to spend most of the day dry. It won't be until late Thursday and into early Friday morning that we'll see another opportunity for showers and storms, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe. Get some neat colors out there from the cloud cover and the sunrise in Joplin. 77 at Dew Point Soupy at 71, and we are otherwise mostly cloudy. Temperatures for most of this morning, upper 70s, mid-upper 70s. We do still have some low 70s across the area. Underway this morning, the showers, thunderstorms will continue to push through. And again, your temperatures are going to vary based on where you are and what kind of rain you're getting at that time, but we're looking to be about 80 by 11 o'clock. Our highs today, again, most of us upper 80s, low 90s. Some of you only into the low 80s. Hot and humid tomorrow. Those storms tomorrow, Thursday night into early Friday. We're going to be hot, but seasonably so into the weekend. Low mid 90s and some additional rain chances next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, doctors are still having a difficult time diagnosing long COVID, in part because there is no standard lab test that provides useful results. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health studied more than 10,000 adult patients enrolled in a long COVID trial. Data suggests many of the symptoms are due to ongoing inflammation rather than the presence of the coronavirus. And 3.5-year-old children who get several hours of tablet time a day are more likely to express anger and frustration over the next 2 years. A study published in JAMA Pediatrics found those children were often given even more screen time to limit their outburst, thus preventing a child from learning how to manage their negative emotions. And studies have found that drinking even small amounts of alcohol is bad for you. Now, Spanish researchers say for adults over 60 with health-related or socioeconomic risk factors, even one drink a day leads to worse mortality rates. The study of 130,000 people did find that the outcomes were slightly better for people who drank wine only during meals. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, McDonald County gets ready to head back to school with a 4-day week and plenty of teachers.
And we're continuing to track thunderstorms pushing through the area this morning. Some gusty winds are possible. We'll take a look at those storms and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a bookstore in Joplin plans to pay for more than 1,000 school lunches this year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we are continuing to track thunderstorms pushing through southeastern Kansas. No severe weather in our area this morning, but some areas could see wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour. And there's some new concerns about possibility of flash flooding. These storms producing a lot of rainfall out there, especially across southeastern Kansas. So that's something to keep in mind. We don't have any flash flood warnings or advisories at this point, but if you know your commute takes you through an area that's prone to flooding, you might want to start thinking about an alternative plan just in case, and absolutely be watching out for some flash flooding concerns. Let's start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're going to take a look at these storms that are developing. So we have now 3 separate areas that have all been going through this morning. So we have the main complex in our western counties that's continuing to push in. We had this line develop ahead of that, and now we've got this activity that's developing along this southeasterly track out ahead of that. And again, no severe weather out there, but we're still seeing, at least with the main line here, wind gusts maybe 40, 50 miles an hour. And we're continuing, of course, to monitor the rest of these storms. The other thing is, look at all these lightning strikes. We're talking a lot of lightning activity with these storms, and lightning is dangerous and deadly regardless of if the storm is strong or severe or not. But we are, again, take a look. You can see these little spotty showers that are continuing to develop along this line. We have these thunderstorms, and then we've got those thunderstorms. So as we get a little closer here, Chanute, you've got a pretty potent thunderstorm right over you. It's not strong, it's not severe, but a lot of electrical activity with this. Iola, you're going to be getting in on this line. Chanute, you'll have round 2 and then eventually a round 3 push through. Fredonia, you're in between rounds 1 and 2 out there. Independence getting in on it. Parsons, Iola, Garnett eventually. Burlington. Take a look at all of this rain. That's the other reason there's flash flooding concerns, because this activity is not moving very quickly, as that's the other problem here. It was diving off to the southeast, but it's begun to slow down a bit, and that's where those concerns for flash flooding come in. And of course, if we do get any advisories or any severe weather warnings, we'll of course let you know about that. These storms expected to persist into the afternoon hours as well, so we'll continue to track them through noon. It won't be until after 4 that the last of the showers will begin to roll out of our area. Quick look at temperatures: 77 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh, and around the area we've got low, mid, and upper 70s, a warming trend from northeast to southwest across the region. So a very warm start for many of us today, much warmer than where we were yesterday. Thunderstorms again through at least 3 o'clock, and they'll start to exit by 4. Most of us highs upper 80s, low 90s, but some of you, like yesterday, may not make it out of the low 80s for highs. We'll continue to track these storms this morning. We've got the potential for dangerous heat heading into our Wednesday. Break down those details for you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the Kansas Department of Revenue announced the winner of its new personalized license plate contest. The Flint Hills design was chosen, and it will be available for purchase in 2025 for a price of $45.50. You can learn more about the design and the contest on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, kids in Pittsburgh beat the heat and had some fun before school starts once again. Victory Life Church partnered with the city and police department to host a back-to-school event in Lincoln Park. It featured free access to the city pool, free Kiddieland rides, free mini golf, and free food.
I hope they take that there's somebody that cares. I hope they think that there's a community of people that care about them and their kids. At the end of the day, all of the churches have the same heartbeat. We just want to give every kid a high five, put a smile on their face, and say, hey, have a great school year. And that's really the mission. That's the whole thing.
Free backpacks and school supplies were also available for all kids who registered for the event. The McDonald County School District sees an increase in qualified teacher applicants as they prepare to implement a 4-day school week for the very first time. McDonald County teachers are preparing for the new school year, and this year, teachers and students will have Mondays off. This new shorter school week attracted many new teachers to apply and encouraged teachers considering retirement to continue teaching at the district. Officials say the change allowed them to recruit more qualified teachers.
Happiness is very important. Rest is very important. And we do believe that at the end of the day on Friday, they have 3 days to get some rest.
McDonald County is the second largest school district in Missouri to implement a 4-day school week. The McDonald County School District yesterday also showed off some new buses. The district has 4 brand new buses, each of them capable of carrying 71 passengers. They have several new features as well, including electric doors and gear shifting mechanics that are similar to modern cars. Now they're training their drivers to use them.
They can actually learn how to drive a bus. It's not that difficult than driving your car. Actually, you can actually see more and know more what's going on. The main thing is how to deal with the children and how to keep them where they need to be. And we want to deliver the students to the school with a good attitude to start the day.
McDonald County heads back to school next week. Well, a bookstore in Joplin paid for 1,000 school lunches last year thanks to their school lunch assistance program, and they plan to pay for more this year. Always Buying Books is continuing to raise money to pay for school lunches in the 4-state area. Purchases from the book buffet goes towards the program along with the donations. The year-long program started last year when store owner Bob Wolf noticed that paying for school lunches was a problem for some students.
Here in Joplin, and I found out Jefferson Elementary, and I found out that was a problem with some of his classmates. So we decided to step up and help a little bit, and it's kind of taken a life of its own. We've had a lot of people support us.
The donations will be for that week's school lunches. Now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Many spas are now focusing on overall wellness while also finding new ways to help visitors relax. And rain chances continue. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, spas are offering a lot more than massages these days, especially those in popular destinations. Many are focusing on overall wellness and new ways to help visitors relax and recharge. Wendy Gillette takes us to a few of them.
And what is the result? Hand Okagbasev recently visited the Corinthia London Hotel's new London Regenerative Institute.
I just realized 1 year ago that I have no plan for how I will age, my longevity, my own health.
The Regenerative Institute is an addition to the hotel's Espa Life Spa, offering a more intensified approach to tackling aging with screenings and treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
In a spa like this, a decade ago, people came for a massage or a facial, but today they are looking for more result-oriented treatments.
More than 7,000 miles away, treatments in tune with the Hawaiian moon calendar anchor the offerings at the new $55 million open-air Kilolani Spa at Grand Wailea, a Waldorf Astoria resort on the island of Maui.
The Halo Pro rituals that are based on a 10-day celestial moon phase. Each one of them has a specific oil.
The Maldives, here in the Indian Ocean, is also increasingly becoming a destination for expanded wellness treatments, including here at Kagi Resort. At the resort's overwater spa, there's sound healing, waterside yoga, and a holistic approach to wellness and fitness. What it calls pure life.
Well-being and being well is body, it's mind, it's soul, and it's also your spirit.
Another Maldives resort, Vela Private Island, one of those we stayed at for a special rate, goes even deeper with its well-being center. offering osteopathic and Ayurvedic treatments, an alternative medicine with roots in India.
We are the only ones in Maldives to have osteopathy, and we are the only ones with the combination of Ayurveda and osteopathy together. Ayu means life, Veda means knowledge.
A wellness screening details a guest's current state and which treatments would be most effective for healing, including a 4-handed massage to double the relaxation. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The Biden administration wants to make it easier to cancel subscriptions and memberships. Its proposed package of rules dubbed Time is Money aims to remove excessive paperwork and call hold times for customers canceling subscriptions, submitting health claims, and trying to get in touch with human customer service representatives. It's part of the White House's crackdown on so-called junk feeds, though recently other Biden administration proposals have been temporarily blocked by federal courts. Affordable gym chain Blink Fitness has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The move comes as parent company Equinox is trying to sell the chain. Blink says it has obtained more than $21 million in new funding and that its more than 100 locations across the U.S. will continue operating through the sale process. And Google is partnering with pop star Selena Gomez to support teen mental health. The tech giant announced it's giving $10 million more to various nonprofit organizations that support youth mental health and education, including Gomez's The Rare Impact Fund. Google says it has also funded some related projects on DonorsChoose.org. The company says it's pledged $25 million total to supporting youth digital well-being. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms that are rolling through the area this morning. Nothing severe. We have had some wind gusts still pushing 40, maybe 50 miles an hour, but take a look at all of the electrical activity with these storms just in Coffee and parts of Woodson County alone. We've got 3 separate branches that have formed out of this. So we have the initial line. This is the main line that we had early this morning. Then we had this line develop ahead of it, which they're starting to merge together. And then we had a third one that's developing southeasterly and triggering new thunderstorm development out ahead of that. So we'll start here on the Missouri side near Greenfield. Got some showers. Carthage, you've got one just north of you, southwest of Lamar, east of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, getting ready to get in on some shower and thunderstorm activity. Girard, you are already in it. And then out to the west, we've got Yates Center, Burlington, right in the thick of it. But look at all of that lightning. We'll do a lightning count for you a little later on that. This line stretches all the way down toward and just east of Independence, so eventually making its way to Parsons, Chanute. Round 1 has passed you. You've got a round 2 and potentially round 3 out there. Howard, you're getting in on the thick of it as well. The other concern is the potential for flash flooding. We'll have another look at your forecast in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Gabby Thomas will be here to tell us about winning 3 gold medals at the Paris Olympics. Plus, CBS's lead NFL announcing team, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson will be here to help us look ahead to the upcoming football season. And Oscar-nominated actor Andra Day will be here in studio to talk about her latest project. All of that coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Tuesday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Oswego with Bryson Royer celebrating birthday number 9. Happy birthday.
And also in Oswego, a happy 11th birthday to Faith Folk.
And we've got Meadow Scott celebrating birthday number 23 in Parsons. Says, love your great uncle and auntie.
And over in Joplin, a happy 47th birthday to Jay Silvers. It says here, besides his birthday, celebrating anniversary, it's the next photo.
Right, so this is their anniversary.
Yes.
Jay and Marie
yes,
Silvers.
There you go. Yes, here we are. It took me a second to, I was like, wait a minute, what? Yes, also celebrating their anniversary is Jay and Marie Silvers, celebrating their 30th anniversary over in Joplin. Happy anniversary.
That's all right. I've made mistakes too. It's tough sometimes this early in the morning. We've also got Shirley Luton celebrating a birthday in Pittsburgh. She is Pittsburgh and Ron's supermarket icon. A very happy birthday to you, Shirley.
And over in Heller, a happy birthday to Bob Kimmick.
All right, another great My goodness, the coffee's just not kicking in. It was a great list of birthdays and anniversaries. If you want to submit one, Elise has the data for you.
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
All right. Absolutely. Make sure you do that. Also, why not download the KOAM News app as well? It's free and available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Also very helpful. I don't think you can submit birthdays and anniversaries on that, but I don't know. I've never tried. We have some thunderstorms, though, we got to talk about. And everybody needs that coffee. Sometimes it just 3 or 4 cups just isn't enough. We have these thunderstorms. We have 3 separate groups now that have formed out of the main complex. The main complex is all of this right here. Then we had this line form ahead of that. Part of it has now merged out there. And then we have a third line that's developing southeasterly ahead of this complex that's been triggering additional showers and storms off into Missouri now. So around Greenfield, we got some showers. You've got a heavy shower near Monette stretching back up toward Carthage, just to the west of Jasper and into southwestern Barton County. Got a thunderstorm on the north end of Pittsburgh rolling through Girard as well, back into Crawford County. Then we have all of this, and there's new concerns about the potential for flash flooding because if you've been with us through the morning, this activity is moving, but not very quickly. And because the ground is still so dry, there are concerns of flash flooding. So again, if you know your route takes you through a flood-prone area this morning, consider an alternative route. Then we have this to talk about, and I want to pull up and show you guys the latest on this. This is just in the Coffee County and northern parts of Woodson County. Take a look at the volume of lightning that is occurring, and this will actually tell us just in this area alone, in that red box, 239 lightning strikes in just that zone. And as you can see, even more flaring up. So although these storms are not severe, they are producing frequent lightning, and that is dangerous and deadly on its own. So make sure you're taking precautions as you head out this morning. You don't want to stand under a tree or go out into the middle of a field and stand out there. But in all seriousness, this lightning, dangerous, deadly. Make sure you're just watching out for it, because that is and look at how many new strikes are just continuing to form with this thing as it continues to slowly push off to the east. And of course, there's lightning associated with almost each part of this complex as it rolls through the area. So initially, we did have some severe thunderstorm warnings north of Wichita. Do not have any in our area. These storms below severe limits, still getting wind gusts 30, 40 miles an hour, especially with the main portion of this line. But these other storms, as you can see, as they continue to develop, intensifying quickly, even just since the last scan. Look at this one near Carthage. It was just a little yellow earlier, just 2 minutes ago. Now we've got some reds building in on there. So we have enough energy to maintain thunderstorms, but one thing working in our favor is we don't have a lot of energy for severe weather. It's not to say we couldn't see one of these storms intensify, but we're not anticipating any kind of significant severe weather, but certainly a loud start to the day. And again, unlike yesterday's storms, these ones expected to last with us much longer. Future track by noon showing the thunderstorm complexes out there continuing across the area. So just make sure as you're heading out maybe for your lunch hour that you're planning accordingly for that. It won't be until about 4 o'clock that the last of the main shower complex rolls on out of here. We've got another mild night tonight, low mid 70s out there. Some of us maybe even the upper 70s. Wednesday, though, we are dry, we are hot, we are muggy. We are looking at the potential for dangerous heat tomorrow, with those the temperatures going upper 90s, and we could see heat index values up to 105, maybe as high as 108. So we'll watch out for the potential, at least, for some heat advisories that could be issued Wednesday and maybe even into Thursday. A few isolated showers early Thursday morning. Will be hot and dry again majority of the day on Thursday. It won't be until late Thursday in the very early Friday morning that we'll see another round of showers and storms, and some of those could be strong, low-grade severe as well. So a lot to keep an eye on over the next few days. We'll have another look at your forecast news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how an 11-year-old boy with a genius-level IQ would not let his Tourette's stop him from starting college.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities arrested motorcycle driver for DWI following a crash Sunday night. Troopers say a car pulling out of a private drive failed to yield to the motorcycle. Troopers arrested the motorcyclist for DWI and issued citations for no motorcycle endorsement and no insurance. He was released to seek medical treatment for moderate injuries. Well, Kansas State Representative and State House Speaker Daniel Hawkins stopped by Pittsburgh to tour the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas and its John Parolo Education Center. The center helps train healthcare workers in rural communities, and Hawkins says his visit was designed to help him and other lawmakers understand the healthcare needs of the community. Well, a bookstore in Joplin paid for 1,000 school lunches last year thanks to their school lunch assistance program, and they plan to pay for even more this year. Always Buying Books is continuing to raise money to pay for school lunches in the 4-state area. Purchases from the book buffet go towards the program along with donations. And that's check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
I got those showers and storms this morning, those continuing into the early afternoon, and by late afternoon, they'll begin to clear on out of here. So some of you still may only be the low 80s for highs. Majority of us, though, upper 80s and low 90s out there. Will be partly cloudy as we head through the evening and overnight. Another mild night, low to mid 70s, and maybe even a couple of upper 70s out there. And then we're watching that potential for dangerous heat as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, upper 90s for our highs. And we could see heat index values up to 105, maybe even as high as 108. A few more storm chances late Thursday into early Friday, seasonably hot into the weekend, and more rain chances as we head into the next work week.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making loaded layered hash browns in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Election security is a big concern in the presidential race, but one threat isn't even real. Ahead on CBS Mornings, see how AI is creating deep fakes where you can't always believe what you see from the candidates.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society joins us in the studio with a four-legged friend.
Plus, Charlene Patton also joining us with another incredibly healthy recipe. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.